Ahoy hoy Pancasters, and welcome to episode 2 of That's No Moon.
It's a podcast.
Yes, it's your weekly daily.
It's
your weekly dose of all the Star Wars, Marvel and DC movie news that you need. Isn't that right, Neil? Hello.
Hello, Pav. Are you alright, mate?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
It's geek news. That's what it is.
Geek news.
Geek news.
Indeed it is. Yes.
Because, I mean, it is geeks that love it more than anything else, and there's nothing wrong with being a geek, kids.
Absolutely. No. Thank you very much to everybody that watched last week's episode. This will be every Wednesday we're going to be doing this, and we're going to be running through, like I say, all the Marvel, DC and Star Wars movie news that you need. Each week we will take it in turns to do either the Star Wars news or the Marvel stroke DC news. And this week, we're going to start off with the Star Wars news from Neil.
Wow. Let me just pull up my news. We can do it like a proper newsletter.
We can.
Shuffle
we
the
have
papers,
our bits of paper. Okay,
and
hit
then
me
we
with
can
it.
get it. Right, Warwick Davies.
Way!
Friend of yours, isn't
Friend
he?
of mine. I remember the days when he used to run around and hit me over with his little
let's
Segway.
just tell the story to people that don't know. He was buzzing around the Star Wars convention that was Celebrations.
Star Wars Celebrations.
That was in London back in July. And we were walking around and Warwick Davies was buzzing around on his Segway and literally nearly bumped into you.
He did. Quite literally.
Bumped into you. Yeah. And then proceeded to ask you a couple of questions.
He did
with
ask
a
me
film
couple of
crew
questions.
behind him, we must say.
He did.
Can you remember the questions?
You know what? No, I can't. I remember I had to do... Oh, go on.
A Wookiee one.
I had to do a Wookiee impersonation. I had to do another Star Wars impersonation. And there was a question. Oh no, he said something, wasn't it?
You had to finish the line.
And I had to finish the line. Yeah.
So,
but it was fantastic. You didn't get a chance to meet him as such, but it was nice to.
He was a lovely guy.
To chat
he
to him.
seemed to be quite a fun guy. And my estimation went up with him when he did the interview with Carrie Fisher.
He was really
funny,
and it is online, I believe. It is on.
It was very good.
It's somewhere on our Facebook feed because I recorded the whole thing on Facebook Live, so
it was great fun. Anyway, I digress. Warwick Davies. He's a stalwart of the Star Wars universe. Been in numerous of the films. I would think since Return of the Jedi, is it not?
Indeed. Would you like to know the names of all the characters that he's been in? Do you know any of the characters' names?
Well, obviously Wicket.
That's one. I could ring my bell if I had it. Oh, there we go.
I can't remember the one from Phantom Menace. It was Anakin's friend.
He was actually two characters in the Phantom Menace.
One of them being Anakin's friend. He was not made up, wasn't he?
In one of them, he wasn't made up.
Yeah,
No.
was that Phantom Menace?
That was Phantom Menace as well.
Tell me the characters.
So he was Wicket in Return of the Jedi. He was Weasel and Wold in Phantom Menace, and he was a character called Wallivan in The Force Awakens.
Right.
There you go.
Was he not in the other two?
You know what? I thought that he was in...
I thought he was in the other two
Attack
as
of
well.
the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, but my research told me no.
Otherwise.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's confirmed he's going to be in episode 8.
Hey!
So, no other news, though. What he's playing, what
Noah
he's doing.
who?
No other news.
Oh, right, okay.
Not Noah other. No other news.
Oh, well, that's a good story.
No, but it's a confirmation that he's now in episode 8.
He's Star Wars royalty now,
But
I think, isn't
he is, because the amount he's been in. But the reason I brought it up is, obviously, they're not going to tell you who he is or what he's doing in it, are they? Because it's so secret.
He's actually in Rogue One as well.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
No, that's quite...
yes, he is. Yeah, apparently so.
Oh, nice.
But again, we don't know what the name of the character is.
The great thing about the Star Wars movies, as we keep knowing, is that they are so secretive, the way they bring them to the screen.
Indeed.
And the way the trailers are completely and utterly don't tell you anything. You know, every trailer for The Force Awakens gave you hints, but until you watched the movie, you had no idea where they were and what they were, and I thought that was brilliant, because who wants a trailer that's just going to be spoilerific?
Well, isn't that... I mean, we're not going to go down that whole rabbit hole, but it is a DC thing that was Batman v Superman's problem, is that one trailer gave away so much.
Exactly.
And we don't want to go down that route again. That's what I love about the Rogue One trailers.
Yeah.
Is that... Or the trailer, I suppose both trailers, is it's not really telling you a lot about like the minutiae of the story, which is what I love. That's what I love.
Minutiae, what a good word.
Great word, I enjoyed that. I'll give myself a ding for that as well.
So anyway, I just thought it was really sweet that he's been confirmed to be in it, especially because of all the Well, he's probably got a cushy number now. Been friends with Kathy Kennedy and all of those.
Yeah, and I think because he does the Star Wars celebrations when they're in Europe and stuff like that as well. He is that sort of. He's a part of Lucasfilm, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think it's like that. Everyone asks whether he's going to be in it or not. Well, I was just wondering, do you think there's going to be anybody else that's going to make any little cameos that you can think of? Say just for Episode 8, not necessarily Rogue One.
I would imagine they'll do what they did with Force Awakens, and you'll have some celebrity cameos that you won't know.
Right. Well, I mean, Prince William and Prince Harry did
Stormtroopers.
Whether they'd be in it, I don't know. Whether you would know they'd be in it, I suppose you'd find out later on.
Yeah. Anyway, so Adam Driver, earlier this year, was having an interview. It was with our friends Collider, actually.
Our friends?
Well,
I suppose, we're friends with Perry Nemwell. Well, friends, we have met Perry Nemwell.
Yeah, and said that Episode 8 was in tone with Empire Strikes Back.
That's right.
So the internet went a little bit hoo-ha, and everybody was repeating hoo-ha, repeating everything. Anyway, an interview with Vanity Fair came up, and he wanted to put the record straight. So his exact quote from answering this question was, no, and that's not even what I said. What I said was the tone of it was different. I didn't say that it was going to be in the vein of Empire Strikes Back. I was using it as an example. A poor example, he clarified. Next time I should say, I'm trying to think of another sequel to a movie that's good, when I read the script. It was not what I expected in the best of ways. So, has he been bollocked?
I don't know. No, because I didn't think he didn't say anything that anybody didn't know.
No.
Just you look at any movie, any trilogy.
Yeah,
the second one is always the darker one.
Yeah, absolutely.
And The Force Awakens was quite a dark moments in it anyway. So I don't think it's fair for it to say that. I mean, look, he may have Lucasfilm might have said to him, you maybe said a little bit too much there.
Yeah.
But he didn't say anything about what the story was.
No.
He didn't give any plot detail. Well, I didn't think any plot details away. I think it's a...
Just seemed quite strange that you got to come out and say, that's not what I meant, blah, blah, blah. I thought it was quite a cover-up myself.
But don't you think that's the life that we live in and the world we live in now, where especially of a Star Wars film, every word that anybody says is taken and dissected and looked at backwards and forwards, and then a lot of things are read into it that, he mentioned Empire Strikes Back, so, that's it, then The Force Awakens is going to be just like Empire Strikes Back. That means we're going to find out who Rey's father is. No, but as in, he was saying that the Episode 8 is going to be like the Empire Strikes Back.
I mean, I would struggle to see that the beginning one is very much like Star Wars in a sense. It has the same beats. We're not going to go down that rabbit hole. But it's going to be that the Empire, or whoever they are now, are going to be coming up and through. Do you know what I mean? Aren't they? It's going to be their time to get their own back. And so it will be slightly darker, and you are going to have revelations. So it is going to... I would imagine it's only natural it's going to have that sort of thing.
But I think that's only natural in a 3-act structure of a trilogy.
Well, of any story,
Of any story. You look Back to the Future, you look at that the second one of that, it's a lot more of a darker movie.
Yeah.
Trying to think of other ones now, but...
Well, Godfather,
there you go, the second one of that. Yeah, I mean, although they're not in the right timeline, but Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom is probably the darkest of... If you go for the 3 and not think about Crystal Skull.
Well, there's a fourth one?
There is a fourth one. I like the Crystal Skull. There's a couple of moments in it that are just... Oh my God! But
it's all right. It's the CGI that bothered me.
It is, yeah.
CGI. So Pav.
Yes.
Come on then. Tell us yours.
What are we going for first? Should we go for Marvel or should we go for DC? So
Let's
it's time for Marvel news. It's going to be that. Okay. Right. We're going to start off. Harry Potter himself, Daniel Radcliffe, has said that he would love to have been Spiderman.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He said, I love superhero movies. I would have been a good Spider-Man, but the boat has sailed on that, and I'm very happy to watch Tom Holland do it. He's fantastic. I'm not sure if I'd sign up for something that was another 7 or 8 films or 10 years, but a shorter franchise, yeah. And he was out promoting Swiss Army Man, which I have to go and see. It's on at Gloucester Docks.
Oh, is it?
In Cineworld, yeah. It's the only place around the area that we live.
So you're going to have a jolly?
I think we might go and have a try on Sunday and go and see it, because I just want to go and see that movie. I was only talking to my mum Monday, about Daniel Radcliffe, and about the fact that she said, and my wife said, that every time I look at him, I always see Harry Potter. And I was thinking he needs another franchise.
Do you think that would break it?
Yeah, I think it's the same as like with Harrison Ford. I think if he'd have just done Star Wars, he would have always been known as Han Solo. But because he's Han Solo and Indiana Jones, don't get me wrong, I think Daniel Radcliffe, I think the choices that he makes
are brave.
Yeah, well, see, they're not brave. They're not brave because he's not your typical actor. I love Daniel Radcliffe. I think he's a fantastic actor. But he's not your usual actor because he can take jobs that he wants to take. He's not taking them because he needs to work.
Well, no.
So if it's a movie like Swiss Army Man or Horns, where the premise looks really, oh my God, you must be joking, he'll go, yeah, but I want to do it.
Yeah.
Whereas your bog standard actor who needs to see where his next paycheck is coming would probably go, yeah, that's not going to. I'm going to go and find myself a steady job.
I still think it's brave because a lot of his fan base would. I know they've probably grown with him and probably can see him, but there's still always younger generations coming through, and they'll probably want to see what Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter will do. Because remember, those films are just going to be kept being watched and watched. In fact, they're being re-released, aren't they? For the cinema.
Yeah.
So, they're going to want to maybe go and see what he's doing next and not going to be able to because he does a lot of adult things. It's like when he was doing Harry Potter and when he was being Harry Potter, he did Equus, didn't he, on the stage and did the full frontal willy shot.
Ooh, willy shot.
But no,
for all you Americans, that means penis.
Will he be good?
Willy.
Willy. Would he have been good as Spider-Man?
Yeah, I think so.
I think Tom Holland's going to have some beating. He
does look good. I think it's one of those things. It's like you hear about the people that say, well, going on to the next story in a second, that could have been Wolverine. Who was the Scottish guy?
Dougray Scott.
Yeah, and you think, oh my God, no way, that would never have worked. But you would say that because Hugh Jackman has made that character his own.
People said it about Hugh Jackman when he took the role. It should have been Dougray Scott.
Exactly.
He would have been perfect.
Exactly. They said the same thing with Daniel Craig when he was Bond. They said the same thing with Heath Ledger. Harrison Ford. So there's always these things, but I think I don't know whether he'd be right for something like Bond, but I do think that there's another big trilogy or a big franchise.
He's going to go back to Harry Potter.
Well, I think that's going to be obvious when they do the cursed child. Yeah, I got no qualms that he would definitely do that. But at the same time, I would maybe going into Marvel, doing something to do with Marvel, maybe, or DC. Who knows?
Who knows?
We could be talking about him on another one of these shows at show number 50 or something, couldn't we?
Maybe next week. You never know.
You never know. Okay, the next Marvel story, which is one that wasn't in my usual show notes, which you might have noticed, but I added today because it only broke today, that Hugh Jackman's final Wolverine movie has a title. Have you seen this?
No.
Oh, haven't you?
Well, only what I'd read of your notes.
Ah, right. Well, filming has finished on Hugh Jackman's final take on the Wolverine, and now thanks to a tweet from director James Mangold, who's back from the Wolverine.
That's right. The second one. Wolverine,
we have a title. The title is Logan. It's seen emblazoned over a page of the screenplay. Story believed to be based loosely on the Old Man Logan comic book series set in the near future. Now this is apparently going for a hard R rating, so they're going down the Deadpool lane, which I think should be right. Is right? I mean, do you agree with that?
Yeah. Well, if you take the Wolverine, all in Japan and everything like that, that was perfect to be an R-rated film.
Yeah.
When he was fighting all the samurais with the swords, nothing was happening, was there?
No.
I mean, there was a few grim moments here and there, but nothing happened.
But that's what I loved about Apocalypse.
Yeah,
spoilers if you haven't seen Apocalypse, but the scene with Hugh Jackman in that, there's blood going everywhere, and that's what if someone is coming at you with those
you're going to get
claws,
cut.
There's going to be blood everywhere. So I was really happy, but it's obviously it's a reaction to Deadpool.
Question, right?
Yeah.
He ages very slowly.
Yeah.
So it's going to be set in the future where he's older, right?
Yeah.
And a lot older. How much in the future? Because we've seen him right back at the Civil War, haven't we?
Civil War?
Was it the Civil War that he was fighting in the first Wolverine movie, where he was fighting
Oh right, yeah. That
So-
was I don't know. I mean, I know that it said there was a couple of bits that they quoted from the screenplay. One of the bits, if I just read this bit, is telling you what the film is likely to be like, saying, "In this flick, people will get hurt or killed when shit falls on them. They will just get as hurt or just as killed if they get hit with something big and heavy like, say, a car. Should anyone in our story have the misfortune to fall off a roof or out of a window, they won't bounce, they will die."
Wow.
So it's not going to be your usual sort of maybe Marvel thing where people something explodes and people are crawling out with a little cut above their eye. There's going to be real stakes in this by the sounds of it. But they were also saying that that Wolverine in this movie, or Logan in this movie, is so old that his regenerating powers have started to subside a little bit.
Right.
So he's feeling pain. So he's hit the bottle. So he's become a bit of a boozer.
It'd be interesting. I mean, they sort of did that teaser poster, didn't they, of him with greyish hair? Did you see that?
Yeah. I don't know if that was a fan made.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. I mean, did you see the poster? The poster is it's very atmospheric, black and whitish, sort of with that sort of tint of chrome. You know, the what's the word? What am I looking for? Like the sepia kind of tone, but it's just excuse me, it's his hand with the claws coming out, but then with like a child's hand holding it.
Oh, okay.
So it's a really good image. It's a really nice image.
Interesting.
We may even put it on the video for you to see. Starring Patrick Stewart and Stephen Merchant.
I know this is an odd one.
Yeah. Due out March 2017, so it's not that far away.
No.
So there's going to be a teaser trailer soon. It's finished filming. There's going to be a teaser trailer soon.
It's just all going to be pickup shots and special effects, isn't it?
It is. Indeed it is. Okay, on to DC News. Don't worry, there's already a sound effect.
Yeah, all right. Sorry.
Haven't you watched this show?
Yeah, I was just being excited, that was all.
Okay, Ben Affleck has confirmed that the standalone movie that he is writing and directing and starring in is going to be called The Batman.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
I think we all knew that.
It was one of the worst kept secrets, wasn't it? But it's nice that they've actually confirmed, and I do love the simplicity of that as a title, Batman. The Batman, because that's what crooks in Gotham would call it. You know, have you seen The Batman? Or he is an entity rather, as opposed to. I just love that. He said that they're working on the script at the moment and he's loving it. And Ben Affleck and J.K. Simmons were talking about reteaming for standalone Batman movie while they were out talking about another film. I haven't written down which film it is. Which one would it be? Oh, The Accountant. The Accountant.
The one that they're talking all
well, I've got it written here. Well, doing press for the upcoming release
of
The Accountant.
Good job we never had a teleprompter, isn't it?
It was, wasn't it? Ben Affleck and J.K. Simmons, Bruce Wayne and Commissioner Gordon, respectively, touched on their roles in the DCEU, having already worked together on Justice League and are now set to reunite on the Batman film. That's noisy. Commenting on the chance to flesh out Gordon in the Ben Affleck directed picture, Simmons said, "For me, it was another example of getting to be a supporting guy and getting to work with Ben again." So again, they're not giving anything away. They're just... I do like J.K. Simmons. I do like him as an actor.
Yeah, he's a great actor, isn't he?
You know, and he's one of those guys that can do sort of everything.
When he was in Spiderman, he was great. Yeah. He was perfect.
He was
like you remembered that character being in the cartoons when you used to watch the cartoons. And I think he's a great actor, and he's really buff, isn't he? Where he was.
Well, yeah, I was trying to work. When I was doing a bit of research, and I was trying to find that picture, but trying to find out when that actually was.
It was the start of filming when they started filming the Justice League.
Right. Okay.
So he's obviously a buff Gordon.
Yeah.
Do you know many buff Gordons?
I don't know any. I know one buff Gordon. That's J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, well, he's a buff one.
He's a buff Gordon.
Right.
So that movie is coming out. I think Justice League is 2018. I think.
Yeah.
Isn't it? So there's still a long way to go for that one.
Well, they're still filming it, I take it, aren't they?
Well, it's funny you should say that, because the other story that I have is Jason Momoa has rapped as Aquaman on Justice League.
Right.
Last month, Ben Affleck stated that he had wrapped his involvement in Justice League. Now, Jason Momoa has completed his work as filming has finished in London. Aquaman had to miss the wrap party as he has started to film on his next movie. But I did notice on another story on another website, they said that Jason Momoa put out a tweet with a picture of him with nothing on his top, very chesty out stuff. And he basically said, "I'm really sorry that I can't come to the wrap party because I'm heading north." Now, on the internet, people started going, hang on a minute, what does he mean by that? Because Justice League has now moved, they're filming to Iceland. They're filming shots in Iceland. And they're saying, now, does he mean he is going to Iceland to film Justice League? Or does it mean, when he says the North, that he is rejoining
Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones.
How?
It could be a flashback. It could be, who knows? But obviously, that's what what the internet does, isn't it? The internet loves to look at that and go, "The North? Does he mean that he's going back to Game of Thrones land?"
But do you remember, like with was it series 2 or 3, and Sean Bean was seen back on the set
exactly
of Game of Thrones? Exactly. He wasn't even in it.
No
spoiler.
Yeah.
But he'd just gone to visit, hadn't he, and gone to see what they were up to, because being friends with them.
But then it works the other way, and when it was the end of last series of Game of Thrones, and then they started filming in Ireland for the next series, and people saw Jon Snow. I can't remember his name. What's his name? Kit Harington. And they were going, "Oh, he's back," and everyone was going, "No, he's just visiting the set. He's just visiting the set." Where that was obviously, again, spoilers for anybody.
He was back.
He is back. Yeah. And one thing about this show, I mean, we will give away spoilers. I'm really sorry. I apologise.
I will say, not too many.
I will respect, as Neil probably said last week. I think you did say last week, is that we're at the opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to spoilers. I love delving into all different kinds of spoilers because I know that 99% of the spoilers you get on the internet are wrong. Whereas Neil likes to try and keep himself clean and sort of untouched.
Just because I love the experience of when you sit in a movie theatre for the first time and the film starts, it's a blank canvas to me. That's just going to envelope me and just take me and... Yes, I love it.
But don't you want to sort of have that sort of... I mean, I love the expectation of thinking, well, I wonder if that's true, what they've said. And I wonder if that's going to happen. Oh, yeah, that has happened. Oh, no, it doesn't. I mean, because they do it in trailers. You get it in trailers where they'll show you something in a trailer that's not even in the film.
No, I know. But you see, even when I've watched a trailer, unless it's like the Batman v Superman one, the majority of trailers are quite good. They're teasers of what happens, and you'll sit there and think, oh, that was in the trailer. Oh, that was at the beginning of the trailer, but it's in the end of the movie. And that happens, but it doesn't spoil the film. But when I read something that tells you, well, this could happen, the structure of the story might then, in my mind, think, that is going to happen. Do you see what I mean? And then it's spoilt the movie. Not in the sense of I'm going to be spoiled, but in the sense of,
wait a minute, do that face again. I'm going to give you a close-up.
No.
Go on, do it again. That's it. That's lovely.
But I love the fact of not knowing.
Yeah.
So when I sit down and watch any type of film, so Marvel, DC film, Force Awakens, I had no idea when I first sat down, what was going to happen. Now, I knew in my mind, I sort of knew that Harrison Ford was going to die.
Spoilers.
And that literally was because we know that in interviews he had said that he wanted to die in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, the only way he's coming back is to kill himself off. And I sort of guessed that was coming. I didn't... It wasn't a shock to me. But the rest of it, I had no idea. No idea at all. Which is how I like it.
Indeed. Well, that's it. That's the main stories from this week. I'm sure there'll be loads more. But we will have 2 more stories from Star Wars, Marvel and DC next week for you.
Well, fingers crossed that they bring out 2 more stories.
Oh, there'll be plenty of stories. I mean, we're only a couple of weeks away from Doctor Strange, so we may get a bit of story about that. But, with Star Wars, with Marvel and DC, the riches are abound.
Well, like I said, it's going to be easier for you if you go for the spoiler stories. But
I will respect your decision.
Yeah,
don't worry.
I can't. I'll just sit here and I'll have to go la la la.
I will respect your decision. So,
please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It'd be absolutely spiffing of you. Just look for Pancast if you're looking at this blindly and you don't know who we are.
And as this show goes on, if you would like to ask us any questions, leave them in the comments box. And the following week, we will answer your questions live on the show and give you a little shout out in the process.
Absolutely. Likewise, if you want to just check out all our other stuff, please come over to iTunes, put in Pancast. You can see all the other podcasts we do.
Thank you very much. Well, it's been wonderful again, Neil.
It's been awesome. It's always good fun.
Indeed. Well, that's all I have to say about that. I need to try and work out.
Yeah.
I need to try and work out my ending. I'm just going to say, from me and from Neil, thank you very much and welcome.
Tell them what the title is again.
That's No Moon.
It's a podcast.
Goodbye, everyone.